And speaking of trees, our next speaker has dedicated much of his professional and personal life to helping improve our environment. He is none other than Dr. Anupom Ganguli. Dr. Ganguli holds a bachelor's degree from the Indian Institute of Technology in Kharagpur, India. He holds a master's from the University of Windsor in Canada and a PhD from Northwestern University in the USA. He is a retired environmental professional. He served for over 30 years in air quality management and engineering research and development. His professional career includes serving as a senior executive in local government in Southern California and as a research engineer in engineering research and development. He has received several commendations from government and trade organizations. Dr. Ganguli also taught a multidisciplinary course on climate change at the University of California, Los Angeles. Dr. Ganguli first learned about Bhagwan 50 years ago when he received a communication from Swami. He is dedicated to the divine mission and currently serves as director of the Sathya Sai World Foundation. He's also the chairman of the International Media Committee and a director of the Sathya Sai Society of America. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Dr. Ganguli.
Sarvarupa dharam shantam, sarvanama dharam shivam, Satchidanandarupam advaitam, Sattam Shivam Sundaram. All his forms are embodiments of peace. All his names are auspicious. The non-dual absolute is being, awareness, bliss. He manifests truth, auspiciousness, and beauty. I offer my humble pranams at the divine lotus feet of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba, the all-in-one, the one in all, the all-in-all, and the one beyond all. Honored guests, brothers and sisters, Jumbo, good morning, Suprabhat. Loving Sairams to each and every one of you. Sairam. Today I'm going to talk about the grandeur and glory of Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. I cannot help but think how lucky we are and how grateful we are for being contemporaries of the Avatar. The Absolute One, the one beyond all form, all name, took a beautiful form, a loving form, and a sweet name to come within us. And he called each and every one of us. Swami has said, no one can serve me without me calling them. You are here at his invitation. Out of the 8.7 million species on earth, the humankind is the pinnacle. Out of that, we have 8 billion people on earth. A very small, tiny fraction knows about spirituality and looks for God. Out of those, you are in the group that knows Swami and that are following the path. Having said that, Swami gifted us many things in his lifetime as an avatar. If you look back in history, brothers and sisters, this has never been like this. In the times of Jesus, in the times of Buddha, Allah, Zoroaster, go back in history, he is the only one that started an organization to take his teachings forward so that we can practice, we can learn, we can follow the path, and we can reach him. Today, I'm going to focus on the organization that he gifted us, the one that he founded, he nurtured, established, and the one he still guides today in many ways and shapes. In a sense, I'm going to be talking about his work. Next slide, please. But if we do that, first we have to go back in history and see what he told us. Let's start back in 1947. This is a letter that I read over and over again, and I encourage every one of us to do the same. In that letter, he clearly enunciated 3 paths, 3 things that every devotee, nay, every human being should practice. 1, he said, I have a task to foster all mankind and ensure for all of them lives full of bliss, ananda, ananda, ananda. This is a hallmark of the Sai organization. We bring happiness, we bring bliss to people. Swami always says, be happy, be happy, be happy. In fact, Dr. Reddy relates a story where he asked Baba, what can I do for you? He was expecting a big project. Swami told him, do this for me, be happy, be happy, be happy. Everything we do, we need to be happy within ourselves. That happiness is reflected in outside in others. Second, he said, I have a vow to lead all who have strayed away from the straight path again back into goodness and save them. So we love all, we serve all. We have no distinction, no differences. Third thing he said, I am attached to work that I love to remove the suffering of the poor and grant them what they lack. This is the basis of all the services that we do and all the work that we do to bring them back. Next slide, please. Furthermore, later on in 1968, on 17th May at the first World Conference of the Sai organizations, he enunciated, obeying my instructions is enough. It will benefit you more than the most rigorous asceticism. You don't need to stand on your head, do yoga or do penance or go to temples or do this or do that. Just follow his instructions. This, brothers and sisters, honored guests, is the most important thing we have to keep in mind, that we need to follow his instructions. Practice Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, the human values. The 5 human values are dear to me. Resolve to keep those ideals before you ever, in all your thoughts, words, and deeds. The 5 human values form the basis for all we do. As I will talk about it a little later, even when we deal with the environment, we deal with education, we deal with service, we deal with any project we have, the 5 human values must be reflected within us and within the work. This can confer upon you, Swami said, the summum bonum of mergence in the supreme divinity. This is all is needed for us to reach him. And so, with that in mind, next slide, please. He even gave us an organization. Back in 1963, the first International Sai Center came up. The year that Kenya also achieved independence was the year that the SSSIO, the Sri Sathya Sai International Organization, the organization established by him that bears his sacred name, came into existence. People flocked from many countries to see Swami in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Of course, the numbers grew into hundreds, into thousands, tens of thousands. And we'll talk about that in a few seconds. But everyone came with something in mind. They wanted something from Swami. So the first step that most people came to him for was chamatkar. It's called miracles. Swami's miracles drew them. But they stayed for his love, for his divine love. They stayed, they inquired, they found out. Swami told them, go back to your country and set up Sai organizations in your country. So they went back. Baba says there are 4 steps to reach him. Chamatkar, Sanskar, Paropakar, Sakshatkar. Means the first step is miracles, second is transformation, the third step is selfless service, and the 4th step is mergence into him or self-realization. The goal of all these organizations that he established is self-realization. Realize that we are divine and reflect that in our thought, word, and deed. Second sub-goal is to help others do the same. And this is the basis for peace, prosperity, and everything good in the entire world, in the entire universe. So these people went back. His love attracted even more. They came, and such way the organization grew. Next one, please. Swami said, share my teachings with everyone. So the organization spread his message, shared his teachings, and did his work. They still continue doing his work across the globe. As the organization grew around the world from 1963 to present, it enveloped the entire globe. It spread across all the continents. Next slide, please. It started in zone 1. I will tell you about the zones. This sounds like code word. And this is actually not a code word. People think of what is a zone? Is it something like ozone, or we have heard of twilight zone? No, brothers and sisters, zones are the way the organization is divided into the entire world. So first came Zone 1, which comprises of USA, Canada, the countries of West Indies, and Suriname in South America. Next came Zone 2, 2A, 2B, South America, and then the countries of Central America. Zone 3, which were the countries of Australia, Fiji, New Zealand. Zone 4 was Southeast Asia. Zone 5 was Hong Kong. Zone 6 was Southern Europe. Zone 7, Northern Europe. Zone 8, countries of Russia and adjoining countries. And last, but the most important perhaps, Zone 9, which was Africa. And all these countries, the Sai centers grew and they prospered. And they came back to Swami. Swami guided them. He individually answered all their problems, told them what to do, what to adopt, what not to do. He gave them guidance. Next one, please. And so this inner transformation still goes on. It goes on in Sai centers and groups in all these countries, about 110 countries split into 10 zones. There are 13 committees that do work for the zones, for the Sai centers. The heart of the organization are the centers, are the devotees. These are the most important people in the organization. The officers, the leaders are servants. We serve the people. Swami set up 2 oversight groups, Prashanti Council for the administration of this entire organization in 2004 and the Sri Sathya Sai World Foundation in 2006. Both these groups still operate and they're still helping with the organization. Next one, please. There are 13 committees, as I mentioned. Let me quickly touch on 4 important ones that you may find useful. The 4 committees are Media Committee, which I have the honor of chairing. Second one is Environmental Sustainability, chaired by Brother Ashok Sakrani from Zone 5. Third one is Public Outreach, chaired by Sister Alida Parks from Italy. And the 4th one is Education, which are co-chaired by Marianne Mayer from Denmark and George Bebadelis from Greece. The Media Committee's work is to share with you the works of Swami, the works of the organization, and his message and his teachings in different ways and forms. The 3 major outlets we have are satyasai.org, which is the major website, the Sathya Sai Universe, where all the work done by the centers around the world, around the zones, are represented. And the digital media, which is becoming more and more increasingly important today with our new technologies. In terms of things that you may find useful, Sathya Sai, the Eternal Companion, is a monthly magazine. We released the July issue yesterday. There are many issues, brothers and sisters, and you can sign up for them. They will come to you. They will be emailed as soon as they're available. We have international bulletins and global Sai snapshots. The bulletins feature key projects, key works, achievements of the Sai organization worldwide. And the YouTube channel is also extremely important. So if you stay in touch with SSIO through these channels and activities, you may wish to visit any one of these, which are all on the first page of our website. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, YouTube, Telegram, WhatsApp, many channels. Next slide, please. In fact, this is a barcode that you can scan right now. If you have your phone with you, you can simply bring it up and scan this, and it will take you directly into our WhatsApp channel. And this new feature on WhatsApp channel is only available on the app. And you can get up-to-date information, up-to-date knowledge, and up-to-date announcements of upcoming programs and participate. Information leads to transformation. And without transformation, our work is incomplete. Next one, please. Let me switch into the environmental area a little bit. This is becoming increasingly important today because of all the problems we are facing. The entire world today is polluted, it's in turmoil, and we are being plagued by natural disasters. Swami says these are not natural disasters, these are man made disasters. These are disasters because man has mistreated nature. We are not in communication with nature, we are out of harmony with nature. He says, environment, nature is a part of creation. Creation is a part of the creator. In fact, Vyakti, Samasti, Shrishti, and Parameshti is the order, he says. People are part of society. Society is part of nature. Nature is part of God. Unless we recognize that the divinity pervades all of these and treat each other with respect, with reverence, and with kindness and compassion, we cannot prosper. And this is the price we are paying today in terms of the hurricanes, the tornadoes, and all the other natural disasters, the health crisis we have. As Anand told you before, I spent most of my career in the environmental area, and I've seen the damage. I've seen how millions and millions of people die each year from environmental causes. To address the problem, the organization took some major steps. You can go to any one of these links. There is an environmental hub available on our website where you'll have a lot of information that is of use. One of the major initiatives we have is tree planting. But before we go to tree planting, next slide please. Let me tell you that Swami told us that human values, practice of values, and putting a ceiling on desires are the two most important things we can have in dealing with the environment. In fact, this particular is one of my favorite quotes because we cannot say this any better than Swami. He said back in 1975, foster the tiny seed of love that clings to me and mine. Let it sprout and let it grow to the group around you and grow into love for all mankind. Spread out its branches over animals, birds, those that creep and crawl, and let that love enfold all things and all beings in the entire world. Proceed from less love to more love, narrow love to expanded love. This is the answer, brothers and sisters. Swami is saying this over and over again. Love, love, love. With love as the fundamental basis for us, we can resolve the environmental issue. We can be in harmony with the environment again. He's saying, I bless all of you and ask you to promote love, sympathy, and compassion toward all beings, not just to people, not just to mankind, all beings. And this includes trees, plants, nature. God is present in every one of them, and it is your duty to revere God in each one of them. Next slide, please. Let me quickly share with you a video which shows the tree planting that is going on around the world. Now let me address public outreach very quickly. Public outreach is a very important function, as Swami told us, that take my message to all corners of the world. So the public outreach group has 4 functions: public meetings, interfaith, walk for values, and community engagement. Public meetings are going on all around the world, and Brother Leonardo is heading up some of the very important work in this area. Next slide, please. But I'll share with you something that we did recently. I had the opportunity to go to Peru with Dr. Reddy, and we addressed different groups on human values. In this particular picture, you will see myself, Dr. Reddy, sitting with translators up there talking to students. There were two groups we addressed, 400 each, and they listened with attention. In certain cases they were distracted, but we planted the seed of human values in their mind. Next slide, please. Then we had a public meeting in which we addressed a group of about 250 people, and the Indian ambassador to Peru was with us on that day. In this particular group, they told us you cannot talk about God or you cannot talk about Swami. The topic that was given to us was mental health through human values. So we told them about Swami's teachings and how it helps humanity. And they all were interested. They asked Dr. Reddy a lot of questions, and we both answered them. Next one, please. In the next slide, the Indian ambassador invited us to address a group of scientists and engineers. And here we talked about human values in the context of scientific development. Swami's teachings are applicable to all sectors of economies, communities, groups, irrespective of where they are or what they do. So we discussed how science and spirituality come together and how they meet. The education committee is one of the more important committees we have. And in Sathya Sai Education, there are 28 institutes of Sathya Sai Education, 39 schools, and education in human values. A corpus fund has been set up by the Sri Sathya Sai World Foundation. And in that corpus fund, we invite participation because it is our duty, it is our goal, and it is our desire to keep the Sathya Sai schools functioning around the world. But they need our support. For only $350 to $500 per year, we can support a child's education completely around the world. There are 11 schools, such schools in Africa, and there are about a similar number in South America and the rest of the world. Many of these are located in deprived, underprivileged areas. So the World Foundation is one venue we can use to support these schools around the world. These are some pictures of schools from South America and Africa. Next one. And then let me close with these last comments. Swami says, follow the master, face the devil, fight to the end and finish the game. If we just follow his advice here, then we can reach the summum bonum of our existence. We can finish the game. So we pray to Swami, give us the strength, courage, and dedication to serve him and serve his organization till the very end. Samasta loka sukhino bhavantu. May all the worlds be happy. Jai Sai Ram.